There is a ruling party in a democratic structure. There is a ruling party and a ruling government. There is the opposition leg. There is the media and there is the civil society.
Like I don't know.
They need. I need to remind you. And when the opposition is not playing its role, it makes it difficult for the media and the civil society to also play its role. And I'm reminding you and jolting you back to reality that you and your party needs to play your role well.
So let me try and explain something to you, and I will try and be as calm as possible. You must understand that ideally, what constitutes playing opposition role is having an alternative viewpoint to their policies, and we do that. What constitutes opposition role is taking them on issues that require that we can say no, we don't agree with this. The opposition role is not jumping all over the place trying to tell the governments of the world, tell lies about your country, make your country ungovernable, produce an imagery that does not help the country or even help you in case you come into government. We are far more mature than them because we understand what it means to run government, and for that reason we won't make their work too hard for them. We'll only keep nudging them on in the right direction. And there's even at that, there's even a time for politics and there's a time for governance. And within the governance infrastructure, you cannot, I repeat, it seems that opposition party in the country, especially a mature one like PDP, what will constitute opposition is that nonsense that they were doing that we must go, we not go agree, or just have today, don't remain the land tomorrow, don't take something, just talking against the run of common sense. We can't behave like that. We won't behave like that. If the Nigerians are happy that their lives can only work when their country is shamed, their country is painted black, their country is manipulated into the bad books of the international community, welcome on board and see how you can solve it. But PDP will not do that. We will speak to them on issues, we will speak to them on policies, we will speak to them on ideas, we will take them on what they are doing, and we are doing enough of that. And the media, you cannot be our partner. Don't be our obstacle, because you are not an obstacle to us. You are an obstacle to the people who understand that democratic parties must be vegetating and alive. It's not a piece of the graveyard. We don't run a system where one man speaks and everybody starts sleeping or rolling on the ground or licking spittle. Imagine the other day, in this country that I have born, and I'm not a small boy here, I'm seeing the whole national security advisor of the country say, Tinubu gain. I literally wanted to scatter my TV that when did this country become like this? A national security advisor will come and do an address calmly and step away, not convert himself into a poster boy, a lick spittle, a daddy yo-yo of the country. Do you know what that means? These guys are making sure that almost everything that this country is known for, we are no longer able to do. Look at what they are calling the media team. A cacophony of everybody. Nobody knows who is the leader. Nobody knows who is the one. So they give an appointment in the morning, the young man make a press release, in the afternoon they change. Is that how you want our country to run? And on top of that, even if there are problems in the PDP, there are rumors, which is very well founded, that is the hand of Esau and the voice of Jacob. You think they are kids you are talking to? If we are struggling to keep democracy afloat, you need to be supporting us. And you have never invited the party to an interview that we did not attend. You have never invited us to a conference in this country that we did not attend. Right now, myself and my friends, we are running a structure. Fix PDP, fix Nigeria. Why? You think because I'm going to steal your vote? I don't have that interest. I just want us to be a democratic institution that other nations in the world can envy. And being a one-party state or enabling a one-party state is not part of it. And for the record, the population of this country, the tribal issues in this country, the religious mix in this country, the poverty in this country, the unemployment in this country cannot even afford a one-party state because you can't even accommodate all interests within one party. So,
I'm happy that you are agitated because for those of us who want the best for this country.
I know, thank you for wanting the best for us. I've just told you the answer. Let's go to their government. That's what you're supposed to do. You will invite us here. Instead of us to talk about their government, you want us to talk about PDP is this, PDP is that. Who killed it? A party that did not die when one of us on Dr. Iskar. A party that did not die when Jonathan stood back. A party that did not die all these years is going to die. Because of who? PDP diet not.
But let me ask you, how do you resolve the so-called imbroglio about acting chairmanship seat? What do you think is a way out?
You see, the problem with a quick to go to court party is that their hands are always tied. If you do something that is ultra virus, they will come back and tell you, oh, it's ultra virus, you can't do anything about it under the circumstance. So if there's a case in court, we painstakingly, painfully wait until we can vacate it. It is not the ideal situation, but we solve that lacuna in our constitution by making sure that anytime we have a national chairman, we have two alternative vice chairman. In case something happens to one from one zone, we can back up with that one. Yes, we can say, oh, Mr. Damagun, all is considered, please. But if you cannot bully you when you had an opportunity to tell him to leave so that others can join the fray, you cannot bully Damagun. Now, I don't agree, and there's nothing to do with any relationship with any one of them. You must learn to understand that things may not always go your way. If they don't go your way, it doesn't mean you have to be saying that you have the kitchen must be broken. What
factor do you think is at the center of this problem?
You want me to tell you? People would like to say Wike, but I'd rather say Governor President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
It's the problem of your party.
Absolutely. He had no business appointing our member into his cabinet without talking to us. He had no business. He had no business taking use of Wike from our party and appointing. He had no business. When Obasanjo wanted to form a government of national unity, he wrote to the elders of the party. But what did he do? He took one of us, put him in a strategic position, and suddenly the whole thing is complicated. Is it compulsory? If he wants our party to be okay, sack Wike and return him back to PDP and see whether the party will not get stamina and will not move fast. But of course, you know he's not going to do that. So stop asking me where the meat you put in your mouth is when you know that you ate it and you swallowed it. Thank you.
President Tinubu is the problem of PDP.
Please.
That's what you think.
My position is very clear. It is not. I'm not speaking Greek. I explained it. I justified it.
How do you then resolve it? Because it's your home.
Well, I'll tell you how it's going to be resolved, and let me just address him straight. One of the persons that tried that kind of nonsense in this country was the former Secretary of State, who said all 5 parties belong to him and all of them are going to nominate him. This is the Federal Republic of Nigeria, a nation planted by God, by the sweat of many people. Too many people have died to allow democratic culture to stay in this country. I guarantee him it's not going to work.
Let me get your view on what is going on in the nation.
It's about time. Thank you. Welcome to where I want us to be.
Sheguzo made on another trajectory to that. The president is in the G20 meeting.
Yes.
And there's a conversation about ending poverty. And you wonder whether or not if the IMF is saying not just yet are the policies of this government yielding the right result. The government is confident that in no time the results are going to come. Patience is the key asking from this government that Nigerians need to be patient. But from that trajectory, do you see light at the end of the tunnel?
Okay, sure, well done. We gave them an economy that was a little bit robust. We gave them a nation that had a food bank in the silos filled with food that was put there during the regime of Jonathan and Akinwumi Akintola, filled up. What have they brought back to the country? Nobody forced them to devalue everybody in Nigeria into poverty. They did that all by themselves. Nobody told them to float the currency and make our currency become so worthless without a commensurate thought as to how you are going to ensure that the citizens of the country will have the capital to even participate in simple commerce. Now, if anybody is sitting in Jiva where my leader, one of my very great friends, the man that I respect and respect him so much, President Lula of Brazil is, and they are going there to go and be talking about G5, G whatever to solve problem of agriculture in Africa, do you not know that they have failed? Let me give you some policy direction that makes you know they failed. Before Buhari will leave, President Buhari will leave, he had arranged some money for them to be able to do seedling repair program in this country. The money was in, it was dovetailed in the Ministry of Agriculture. Ask the men that you are saying know how to run the country, whether they've been able to do it. What did they do? They left the money there, they carried all the money, instead of generating the seeds in the country, they packed it to one country to go and buy their wasted seed that will reduce the generation and brought it there. Their Minister of Agriculture is still there. Ask them, when they were coming to say they are going to remove subsidy, whatever the hell they were saying, what were they thinking was going to happen to the extremely poor people of the country? Ask them, when they were saying they are going to remove poverty, do you know how many rainy farming seasons they have missed? We have had 3 farming seasons. Why have they not been able to rack up food production? Ask them, when I was here shouting on them and telling them, you cannot build a national economy on palliative, you can't run it on handout, and if you must do palliative, you can't do it by giving the money to people that you know are almost near criminals. You cannot do palliative for the poor in a wholesale. What have they done with their retail banking? What have they done with their money apps that can make people get the money directly? Why must we be a nation that will always constantly be explaining stories? Who have they punished since they came? Apart from volatile opposition. The other day they are running after, what's his name now, Okonwa. Because his opposition element, they were able to get him to court. They never seem to be able to find their own. You see, Shehu, I wish and I pray for the sake of all of us and for the amount of debt they are gathering and the amount of monies and waste they are doing, that by the end of this their term, at least we can see some result. Because they told us 8 years, now almost 10 years ago during Buhari, patience. If you get the citizens of Nigeria that have not eaten since month to be patient for 10 years, it's not even realistic. Right now, we don't even have the economic activities in the hands of our people to participate in commerce. Why do you think companies are leaving? Some of them are leaving because our people can no longer even participate. And when you see what are they doing, they are living the best of their lives.
In all of these policies that this government is pushing for,
which one do I like?
Well, do you like anyone?
Yes, of course. If they are creative and they are calm and they are quick, that their taxation policy may work. But again, they have their history of saying that they want to give us an efficient tax collection system only so that most of our taxes will end in their pockets. That is where our fear is. If you don't have fidelity of how you have used other people's money. If the wealth you produce and project and show that you have is beyond what you had in 1999 in any other way that you cannot explain other than through government till, when you tell us that you want to put all our revenues and our taxes under you, we got to be very scared. Because tell me, how did we end up with the alpha beta nonsense in Lagos? Is that what you want them to happen in Nigeria? If Nigerians, look, there'll come a day you will invite me, I'll tell you, oh, sauce in your stew. But for now, because we are still laboring to ensure that since we have democracy, there must be an opportunity for us to change government when we want, or vote them continually in. But it requires the active participation of everybody, civil society, media and opposition. The role of media is not to be in bed with the ruling party. The role of media is to be in bed with the opposition, because you are the mirror of the society. It's not to be pampering them and putting us down, putting us under pressure, and only seeing our mistake without even asking them any reasonable question. What do you see that they are doing? They've gone to the National Assembly again today to go and borrow more money. Question: if you are making so much money from subsidy, why do you need to borrow so much? If you cannot feel the impact, if inflation is 30%, if you are not been able to stabilize the currency, what are you really doing? You can't form cabinet. You can't balance the economy. You don't understand fiscal policy. What do you really understand? Yes, it's democracy. Yes, you have been certified as the president. Yes, we wish you well. Yes, we want you to succeed. But hey, the way to measure it is not by reducing yourself to a political party that carries money to the field to go and start harassing people with police. And look at what happened in Ogun State. They want to do a simple local government election. If they are not arresting and able to, they are inviting them to DSL. Is that not enough harassment? Why do you now think that everybody is not cowed? Do you know what it even takes for me to be brave in their face? Look, pray for your children, for yourself, for your younger ones, and for my children too, and even for the old ones. That they listen when we tell them, fix this, fix this, fix it. They told us that they have a refinery in Nigeria. They said they're going to be selling the refinery, the dollar, the petrol in naira. Can you please explain to me why we are using international market price for a commodity that we have? I have a well at the back of my house. I decided that I want to pipe it. I have the ability to filter it. And I'm saying my children are going to be buying water. They say they're buying it in France. Is that not madness? Who has taught them that voodoo economics? What is IMF? IMF is a creation that is supposed to help those who need help. A nation that's a vibrant of Nigeria with a lot of things is supposed to be that more serious. Your president has no business jacketing all over the place. He needs to sit down at home and solve the problem at home. Nations who want to be great, they have a period where they close themselves in and busy on themselves. And when they have started being busy on them, people will start saying, what are they doing there? What are they doing? They're not running up and down the street like beggars.
Mr. Showumi, on a final note, can you give us an understanding of perhaps, if the government is saying be patient, and for those of us who think that there are critical issues that this government must address for the plight of the Nigerian people, can that patience actually be exercised? Considering what we have seen in the past month, can this government actually be trusted to say, yes, let's give them some time, let's give this government the benefit of the doubt? Is that actually plausible?
You know what they must fear? They must be worried if they have anything, if they stand for anything, great as statesmen. That why is it that suddenly more and more people are not even interested in the democracy? The quietness you see in a society where there is poverty and all of the issues, inflation that we are dealing with, it's not really quietness. It's like the rumbling before a volcanic eruption. The poverty in the land is too much. They have no business doing any other thing but than attending to that. And that cacophony of economy. You know how many economic council things they set up? The one that had what's their name? Demalico and Co. What has it done? The one that they have with Biswa of Mebane. What has it done? They just, you see, they have not even run the economic committee under the vice president very well. When was the last time you saw the vice president of Nigeria enjoy the robustness of a vice president like they used to do in the eras of our PDP? Everything is not just propaganda, shouting and screaming that they are stealing. Is that a fact? If you have tried the man, sometimes you get tired of defending. I'm talking about Atiku. So at the end of the day, look at what has happened in America. Look at how people are closing up to say it's going to be about America. We're going to fix our country. We're going to drive immigrants out. Nations have forgotten the Northern Westphalian Treaty. Nations are now going back to what you call city-state concepts. And that means that nations must now begin to look at what is their own priority and face it squarely. Not going all over the place to be taking power with people.
Shagun Shawumi, a member of the People's Democratic Party. Thank you so much.
A leader of the People's Democratic Party. Thank you very much.
That's why I like this guy. Anytime he talk like this, he dey talk with annoyance. He will tell you the way the thing they go. People will say, I better go and sit down because you be a PDP, because when I lost the election, now they talk like this. That's it. So it's like everybody, we are stuck in the middle. No going back, no going forward. Backward, never. Forward, ever. That's how it should be. Forward, ever. Backwards, never. But as it is now, we are all stuck in the middle. Oga Patapata himself say he's even confused. I could tell you that. He's confused. He's just chasing shadow, going one country to another, looking for foreign investors. So the foreign investors that he had not seen to come and invest, those are the reform, those are the policy reform they are talking about. Pending on when they get those foreign investors to come and invest in Nigeria, start producing before your country can get better. That is the reform. There's nothing more than that. There's nothing more than that, because the reform they are talking about, if you are talking about the insecurity, the reforms they are talking about will not solve. I mean, the foreign investors they are talking about will not solve the problem of insecurity, isn't it? So solving the insecurity in the north, it shouldn't take time to solve it. So that is to say, the reforms has no solution to the insecurity in the north, because that one has nothing to do with foreign investors they are chasing. You understand? So we are all stuck in the middle. For the only thing now, for price of food and services, goods and services start coming down now, is pending on where they get foreign investors to start producing heavily in this country. We have, since they took over now, we have two plantation season, plant, you cultivate. So if they are focusing in agriculture like that, planning to end this hunger anytime soon, at least by now you should see the effects now, that will be producing heavily. As in terms of agriculture, farm produce, you will see heavily we are producing what we are producing. But hey, what are we producing now? So we are all stuck in the middle. Anyways, what do you think? What's your opinion? Leave your opinion. Please do me a favor. I'll be your guy now. Run out for me. Subscribe to this YouTube channel now and hit the notification button so that you don't miss any videos like this. Please, I'll be your guy.